Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Wednesday, 14th day of June, 20th day of SIVAN. Here we go. More about the mitzvah visiting the sick. It's okay to also extend your responsibilities to visiting non-Jewish people also. It helps keep us at peace with all of the nations if they know that we visit Jews and non-Jews alike. And so you're totally allowed and recommended to go visit non-Jewish sick people if they need your visit. Now, on with more halachas of the visiting of the sick. There are specific laws about where to sit. We never like to be sitting or placing ourselves in a way that shows arrogance to the presence of God. I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Because in old-fashioned times, the chola, the sick person, would often be sitting, lying low to the ground. And if you would sit up in a chair, and the Shechina, the presence of God, is at least at the head of the ill person. That's what we learn from our rabbis. So if you were sitting up in a chair kind of higher than the sick person, that would be considered like disgusting to be placing yourself higher than the Shechina. So we don't like to do that. Therefore, it's a good idea to make certain that you're not raised higher than where the Shechina is. So nowadays, when a person is in a bed and you're in a chair, so you're probably going to be at a similar level, and it's usually okay in our present setups. But if for whatever reason his bed's very low and you're on a high stool, then it would start to get inappropriate again because you're much higher than him. So try to be somewhat at his level when visiting the sick person, because I hope this doesn't sound crazy to you. We believe strongly in this. The presence of the Shekhinah, of God's presence, is there, and you don't want to be acting haughty in the face of God's presence. The Meiri explains it for a different reason, not sitting higher than the sick person. He says the sick person should be involved with thoughts of doing tshuva and repenting. That's why he's ill, and God is trying to remind him to do, better at everything. So if he's low and you're high, then it just puts him in a kind of body language position like he's in despair, and it might make him feel like almost as if he's not worthy of getting healed, and you don't want to be in such a position. So therefore, what you should do is not be much higher than the sick person. Okay, you shouldn't be at the feet of the bed, because this is mystical sounding, but mystically speaking, the Malach HaMavet, the angel of death, is at the feet of the ill person. So sitting right there at the foot of the bed is sitting right where the angel of death is, and you don't want to be there. You also shouldn't be at the head of the ill person, because that's where the Shekhinah is, so the presence of God. So somewhere around the middle would be more appropriate. If it's a very great person, then we believe that the Shekhinah is all around him, because he's that great, and therefore being closer to the foot of the bed is more appropriate. If the sick person asks you to sit in a specific spot, and of course it's going to give him a little bit of discomfort that you refuse and you sit in the place where, like, I don't want you sitting there and it's making me upset. So if you're upsetting this ill person, that is of course not good. So do try to listen to him. If he says please sit over here, then do sit over there, because you're there to help him, and certainly do that to help him. If he's a rasha, if he's a wicked person, then mystically speaking, we say that there's danger all around his bed. He's dying, he's ill, the retribution is like kind of sort of all around him, and therefore you may want to ask a rabbi where exactly to sit when visiting a very wicked person, if you are. By the way, lastly today, you are allowed to stand when you're visiting the sick person. You are allowed to pace. If for whatever reason you're getting bored and you can't stay awake or whatever, then you're allowed to do that too. Okay, thanks for logging on, and do log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.